you made a tweet, and I'm feeling certain kind of way about it. Okay, um, I I don't. Yeah, you can call me soy all you like, right? But just because the other side, like Trump, jokes about Pelosi's husband getting hammered by a guy with a hammer and things, just because that side engages in that kind of behavior and that kind of rhetoric and that kind of ha ha ha, we can joke about the bad things that happen to them. I don't think that makes it okay for us to turn around and do the same. And in fact, I think that's one of the reasons we are at this point that we are in this country.
No,
Where
I reject that. No,
why do
we
you
need
reject
to.
it? Go
That
ahead.
needs to stop. The whole idea that well, the reason why we're here is because liberals and the left just haven't cucked out enough. The reason why we're here, the reason why we don't have our Supreme Court justice, the reason why Trump has to get criminal immunity to survive his court case is because the left just isn't kind enough. Nah, I'm over it. I'm super over it. My only
That's not
regret is
what
that
I'm
the guy
saying.
didn't spend more time. Yeah, that's exactly what you're
That
saying.
is not what
You're
I'm
here.
saying.
Hold on. You're saying we're here right now because the left is like turning the temperature too much. No, we're here right now because Trump is insane, because he has support from 90% of the conservatives in the Republican Party who are entirely un-American. Whatever happens, happens. I don't give a at this point. My only regret is that the guy didn't spend enough time practicing first. It is
Holy
insane how much conservatives get to set the standard on all the conversation in this country. It's absolutely insane. We're supposed to jump up and feel sad that the guy who is one of the most
yes,
divisive presidents in all of history got shot at? Give me a break.
two
Please give me a
people.
fucking break.
Okay, one person is dead who isn't Trump, right? Who got shot out. Someone in the crowd that was just going to a rally who got
Okay,
murked by this guy, and
Okay,
two
I
others
did
are in critical condition. I think it's okay to show a little empathy, don't you?
You're right. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't know somebody else died. What state was this in?
Pennsylvania, my state.
Swing state voter. Sorry, what?
Okay, this is the problem, right? It's not the only problem we have, but it's absolutely a problem when we think it's okay to joke about people getting because they are political opponents, right? And it's a swing state voter. That's bullshit. And this idea that we see the other side as this enemy that cannot be redeemed, that it's okay to joke about violence with, it's okay to make these asinine statements, is one of the reasons that someone thought it was okay to take a shot at a contender for the presidency of the United States. We have opened up this Pandora box. We are lighting a fire that we will not be able to control. And it won't be just the people, the people who get burned won't just be the ones that we think deserve it. It's going to burn a whole lot of others. We're starting an inferno.
It's already burnt. Dog, it's already burning. What are you talking about?
That doesn't mean we throw wood on the fire and help it.
Fire. You're standing in a house on fire and you're like, well, hold on, guys. Like, it might get pretty hot here if you actually turn the temperature up just a little bit. Listen, in the United States of America, no one citizen is greater than any other citizen. Donald Trump wanted absolute criminal immunity. I think this guy should get at least presumptive immunity until we've looked into a little bit, why it is he shot at him. Oh, he's dead now, so I guess we can't. Or no, wait, who died? It was a voter instead? It wasn't the actual shooter? Who knows? Maybe the guy thought he was acting in his official capacity as like some servant to the United States or something,
Look, here's the deal. We don't know what the motivation of the shooter was. I can't speculate on it. It could be someone on the left. It could be someone on the right, like a Fuentes type who thought Trump didn't go far enough, right? And that was betraying them. It could be a Hamas guy who's like, oh, look at Trump. He wants to help Israel too much. We don't know, and we could just speculate. But what I will say, right, is yes, just because you're correct, whether there's a fire burning right now, but that doesn't give us leave to throw more wood on it. What we should be instead is trying to tamp down, to turn the temperature down. And I understand that the other side is going to be assholes about this, who are going to make all these jokes, and that's okay. That's why they lost in 2020, because they went too extreme, right? And that's why they're going to continue to lose in the future, because they're the ones that everyone sees as the bad guys. So if we start to engage in that same type of rhetoric and that same type of behavior, people will not be able to see the difference between us and them, and we will lose that political edge. So even just from a strategic, not throwing morals out the window here, even from just a strategic point of view, it's a dead end. It's a way that it's a race to the bottom, and it's going to hurt us electorally, and we should stop doing that. Look, I get it, right? I get it. It's annoying.
Hold on. Just to be clear, we didn't win 2020 because they went too extreme. We won 2020 because Trump his handling of COVID up so bad that it motivated voters on the Biden side and it demotivated some voters on the Trump side. Don't forget, Trump got the second most amount of votes in all of U.S. presidential election history, okay? Only behind Biden in that election. So the idea that, they got too radical, they got too extreme, and it turned off voters is absolutely bullshit. No, it's not. Trump has only gotten more radical since that election, and he's polling better than he was last time. You think Trump is moderated?
No,
do you think Trump has gotten less radical?
We have
do you think he has
more
less support?
extreme.
Do you think that? So that's the issue. The
That's
issue is
part
that
of
the Democrats have gotten more radical.
Is bullshit too. This idea that there's only one issue that was because of this one single thing and this one single incident like COVID that was what cost us the election is bullshit. That contributed, absolutely. But if it wasn't also for the extremism and rhetoric and the just dislikability of Trump, I don't think we would. We might have lost it. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't prove a negative. I can't go back in time, right? But when we come out to 2024 coming up, right? And so first of all, I think we just lose. I think this shooting that's ball game. I think we lose. So that shooter cost us the election. It's done, right? Have you seen some of these photos coming out of Trump with his fist in the air and the American flag behind him and the Secret Service around him? That's ball game. We're done. So that shooter, he didn't shoot Trump, but he shot our chances in 2024.
I already told you. I thought he should have spent more time practicing first. I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, if he had, oh my God, if he had actually Trump, that would have been, I don't know if our nation, that would have been a monumental disaster. There would be sectarian violence in the streets at that point.
That would be crazy. What do you think they'd try to do? An insurrection? Holy shit. That would be wild.
Oh, you think January 6th was like an insurrection? It was. But imagine that going through the streets just in general across America. Imagine the 2020 riots, but it's right-wingers who actually do know how to shoot.
Yeah, okay? And you think that all the Trumples were just going to go home if they lost the next election?
Man, I don't know. But
okay,
I don't think
we should just keep living in the world of I don't know. While we're sitting in the corner, in our little cuck chair, watching the bull, our country, okay? Lady Liberty going, I don't know if he's going to or not. I'm not sure. Well, let's just wait and find out. Well, Trump continues to turn the dial up on all of the rhetoric, while the conservatives continue to be absolutely unhinged, while they continue to deny every single facet of reality, while they continue to move on a crash course in destroying this country. At this point, like I said, I don't really give a. You have a guy running for office whose only way out of criminal indictments that were charging him with essentially insurrection was to ask the Supreme Court for absolute criminal immunity for his actions. Okay, I'm beyond giving a at this point. All right, it's wild. It's unhinged. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to say.
Stop? Do you want them to lose?
I want it to stop, but the problem is we don't have a radical 5% in this country that's setting us over the edge of oblivion. It's 45% or 50% of the country, my dude.
One of the problems here is one of the reasons that Trump was so successful and got so many involved. And one of the things that I agree with you, there's a lot on the right who have gone unhinged, is because they can point to really real things that people have said and done where they feel like they are under attack. And what we have done is we have created this cycle, this circle, where we do this reciprocal radicalization of each other, where both sides point to the extremes of the other, the crazy of the other. And I'm with you, the right is way more crazy. I don't disagree. But what's happening is we are feeding that beast. And so when you make these tweets, and they might look, I'm not saying that what you've done is destroyed the country with a tweet. No, absolutely.
Seriously, okay, listen. I understand what you're saying about mutually turning the temperature up, but Biden has been the most lukewarm, milquetoast, uniting president that I could have ever imagined, given the term that he came into. And the only thing that conservatives will see from Biden is a picture of him with a red background, claiming that he's screaming that all conservatives are evil. That's the only impression that they have of him. Being nice and not turning up the temperature only works when the other side is perceiving that. But the right, the communicators, the pundits have all failed in their messaging because you've got the entirety of the Daily Wire, all of Fox News, all of these political pundits are on their knees slurping up every ounce of they can suck from Donald Trump's wilted cock. So even when Biden is doing things like, oh, look, well, we're being nicer or we're trying to be bipartisan, they don't even see it. So what the the point?
Because what you're doing is you're giving them ammo. It's one of the reasons
they don't need ammo, dog. They've got unlimited ammo from all their pun. They invent ammo. They literally ammo.
But that is
make
less
ammo out of nothing.
Look, I agree with you that there's a group of people who are just lost. That no matter what we say or do.
Do you agree that that group of people is about 50% of the country?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
What percentage do you think it is? Just curious.
30, 20, 30. It's a
Even
large
if it was
amount.
30% of the country, dog, that's over 100 million people.
That's a lot of
Hello?
people because
That's a lot of people.
But it's not insurmountable because we have elections
That's
in this
pretty
country.
insurmountable, my dude. I think
Oh my
it's
God.
Hitler. Do you think it was 30% of the population? That's a huge, like 5% is insurmountable almost. What do the conservatives always say? We only need 3% of the population to start a revolution.
I don't give a what those conservatives who don't know nothing say. I'm telling you
Well, you
what
probably
we're
should,
seeing
because they
on
represent
the
half of
ground.
the voting base in this country. It's probably pretty important to listen to them, I think. They kind of dictate like half of where the country heads.
Jesus Christ. Destiny. Why are you so wrong on this? You're usually so right, but you're so wrong. And look, this idea, right?
Donald Trump, hold on, just to be clear, okay? These are inarguable facts. And if you're going to put me against any conservative debater, okay, I'll debate any single person on the internet who wants to, who's of reasonable size, okay? One, Donald Trump engaged in insurrection. That's undeniable. And two, Donald Trump brought a case before the conservative Supreme Court, and he was granted the criminal immunity that he needs to beat that case. That's it.
None of these make it okay to take a shot at him.
No, they destroy the country. So if we're not in America anymore, whatever post-country we're in, maybe shooting at people is on the table. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Who knows? But at this point, we are unrecognizable from anything that we were in 2016. Like, it has gotten so warped, okay, that the ex-president is now beating a court case because he has unlimited criminal immunity. All right, I'm good. Whatever happens, happens. If you want to be a king, then you be treated like a king. There's only one way to remove a king from power. I mean, what do you think?
Look, I reject this framing entirely. This
really,
idea,
what do you reject?
All, the first thing I reject is that we have changed fundamentally in a country that we cannot get back from. I think we absolutely can. I think, yes, there are very real threats and dangers to democracy.
Oh, hold on, wait. How do we go back to that? How do we get rid of the immunity? So we're going to pass an amendment? We're going to pass an amendment that says, actually, the president is not above criminal prosecution when he's committing criminal acts. Are we going to pass an amendment for that?
We can. We've done it before. Not. Right?
Yeah,
this presentism and this doomerism is something that I just reject entirely. Absolutely, we have agency, and we can absolutely go. Lex Friedman for $50. Agree with Wick, disagree with Destiny in this. Well, thank you, Lex Friedman, Wick Orbiter. Very powerful. Yeah, this idea that we've entirely, we are unable to change things. This idea that, no, half the country is lost, we can't get through to them. This is the kind of rhetoric that makes it almost certain that someone's going to start taking shots. And
really,
I don't
so you
know
think? Hold on. You think that Donald Trump? You think that Donald Trump's rise to power is explainable by meanies on the left? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're going with?
No, but it is.
Okay.
We didn't.
So then Donald Trump became president in 2016, which was already insane. He had 4 years of a rule that was worse than any good faith leftist like pundit would have honestly predicted. And now that he's out of the presidency, he's engaged in tons of criminal behavior. Well, and he engaged in criminal behavior while he was president. He's gotten immunity from that, from his Supreme Court. And now he's running again on even more divisive rhetoric, planning to do even more damage next time. This is all because people were mean to conservatives?
No.
Were they mean to conservatives when they made jokes about Paul Pelosi getting beat with a hammer?
Oh my
God. Were they mean to conservatives when they talked about Hillary's emails and Benghazi investigations year after year? Were they mean when they denied any type of foreign intrusion into our entire media apparatus? Were they which part were they mean on? Here's the thing. Here's what I don't understand. Can you tell me this, okay? You know what? I'll shut it all down, Wick. I will shut it all down. This is what I challenge you to do tonight, and I'll walk back what I'm saying. I want you to find me 3 links of a mainstream, and they can be alternative to mainstream Republican commentator going, hey guys, maybe we're taking things a little bit too far, and the liberals have a point. Is what?
Joe Walsh mainstream.
Joe Walsh isn't even a conservative anymore.
No, he is. He's a never Trumper, but he is a Republican.
The Never Trumpers are out politically. The Never Trumpers don't survive in the Republican Party
and they're
anymore.
Still conservative. That's one.
And
I didn't even have to Google that. That's one. You're already wrong.
He's an ex.
Right? You're already wrong. That's one.
I'm sorry. Do you want to support? Do you want to quote the 2 conservatives that were on the 9/11 Commission too? If you really want the big.
Joe Walsh is one who's no one, right? He's got 500K followers, I think more than you on Twitter, right? So he's not no one, right? So again, that's one, and I guarantee you, if I start Googling and I start searching, I could probably find 2 more.
And
so yes, I will take you up on that.
Find somebody who hasn't removed themselves from the Republican Party. Find someone who hasn't removed themselves from the conservative movement, and I'll take you seriously. Because never Trumpers who are no longer going to be politically relevant in the political party, I don't think...
Right? Because you know you're wrong, so you're like, well, okay, now I have to throw out more variables so we, I'm correct, right? Instead of just going with your initial statement. Come on, man, you're better.
I'm sorry, hold on. Is Walsh in office right now?
No.
Oh, crazy.
So they have to be elected officials.
Wait.
You have to be elected officials, not influencers.
No, it's not that he has to be an elected official. It's that the only reason you know about him is because he was an elected official. Why isn't he an elected official anymore in the Conservative Party that I'm criticizing for becoming fascist? It's because he criticized the fascists. This is the guy that you want to cite as though you've made some kind of prescient point that, like, well, actually, no, there are some conservatives that have been cast outside of the party who are called rhinos, Republicans in names only. They criticized Donald Trump. Good one.
$100 from Lawson Harrison. Wick, I think you're correct, but only in a more ideal situation. It's difficult to expect a sane society with half an insane population. This, again, like, I will find you those conservatives. I will make but this is my fear here, Destiny, is you're just going to give me more variables why they don't actually count. And I don't know what to do with that.
I want people that are relevant, conservative commentators who have some point over the past few years have been like, guys, maybe we're being like a little bit too on the extreme side. Not ex-lawmakers who are no longer a part of the Republican Party, but like somebody from Fox News, somebody from the Daily Wire, like mainstream political commentators are like, you know what, guys, maybe we need to pump the brakes a little bit.
I will get to Googling. I will find out. But again, this idea, and I'll leave you with this, right? This idea that there is nothing we can do. Shooting should be on the table. That I don't care anymore. They've done the bad thing, so now we should be able to also do the bad thing. I do think that is the reason the Republicans lost, because they're doing the bad thing, right? Because they're unhinged, because they have crazy rhetoric, because they do all this. I think that's why they lost in 2018. I think that's one of the reasons they lost in 2020. And I think that's one of the major reasons they lost in 2022. Obviously, it's not the only reason. Obviously, there were other factors in play, but I think that was a contributor to it. So what I fear, what I worry about is that we will take that off the table as a way for voters to differentiate between the two parties, between the two groups. And I don't want people to be able to post a clip of you saying, oh, maybe shooting should be on the table, and say, well, look, see, the left's no different than the right here, and they're both extremist weirdos. I want to make sure that that's as hard, as difficult for them to do as possible, so when they do find those extreme weirdos out there like Hassan and all these weirdos that they're making similar takes, like you're echoing a lot of Hassan's points right now, which is weird. I don't want them to have an easy time with it, and I want us to be able to brush that off. That's all I want.
That's cool, but that's great. That's fine. When the history books are written about the United States of America, one of the things that people will have to realize is democracy only works when everybody participates. If half the people don't want to row the boat, you can tell your people to row as hard as you want, but you're not going to go anywhere. And chastising them for giving up on rowing isn't going to make the boat move any faster. You have to have your population bought into concepts of democracy. And when they aren't, then the country fails. Doesn't matter what your rhetoric is. Doesn't matter what you say. No amount of liberals being nice is going to fundamentally alter any Trump position about the positions of Donald Trump, the principles that he has, or lack thereof, and the way that he runs the country. And I hope that people start realizing that. Maybe conservatives will at some point abandon Trump, but probably not, because he can basically do anything, because he is now our king, immune from criminal prosecution. God bless. But yeah, when you anoint a king, again, the only way to take a king out is what? I mean, how are kings traditionally removed from power? What do you expect to happen?
Well, thanks for coming on. I still think you're wrong. I will Google those names and find you. Destiny, always a pleasure.
Love you, babe.
Bye.
Appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.